There are stories in Hollywood that the industry quietly agrees to leave alone. Stories too uncomfortable, too close to powerful people, too wrapped in legal settlements and closed doors. The story of Suri Cruz has been one of them for over a decade, but in 2024, something shifted. A name on a graduation program changed everything, and the world finally had to face a truth it had been avoiding for years. Her name is no longer Suri Cruz. It is Suri Null. And in 3 quiet syllables, an 18-year-old girl communicated to the entire world what years of headlines, celebrity gossip, and courtroom depositions never quite managed to say out loud. Let's go back to the beginning, because this story doesn't start in 2024. It starts the moment the marriage ended, and it only makes sense if you understand what that marriage really was. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes welcomed Suri in April 2006. The two had met in 2005, got engaged just 2 months later, and married in an Italian ceremony in November that same year. To the public, it looked like a fairy tale. The biggest movie star in the world, a beautiful young actress, a perfect baby daughter photographed in the arms of 2 glowing parents on the covers of magazines worldwide. But behind the polished images, something was already wrong. It's widely believed that Tom's devotion to Scientology played a significant role in the breakdown of the marriage, with Holmes seeking full custody of Suri as part of her divorce filing. In June 2012, after 5 years of marriage, Katie Holmes filed for divorce. What the world didn't know at the time was just how carefully and how desperately she had planned it. She filed while Tom was overseas filming. She changed phones repeatedly. She moved carefully, deliberately, knowing that one wrong step could cost her everything. Holmes later confirmed she had cited protecting her daughter from Scientology as one reason for the divorce. The custody agreement gave Katie full control over Suri's upbringing. Tom agreed to pay $400,000 per year in child support and was required to cover all of Suri's medical, dental, insurance, education, and college costs. Money was settled, but the relationship between a father and his daughter, that was left unaddressed. And it would remain that way for over a decade. What happened next is the part that shocks people most, not because it was dramatic, but because of how quietly and completely it happened. Sources close to the situation have said plainly, Suri no longer knows her father, and she hasn't spent time with him in a decade. A decade. That means for most of Suri's childhood, her teenage years, her formative years, her father was present everywhere except in her actual life. His face was on movie posters, on billboards, on the covers of entertainment magazines. Mission Impossible, Top Gun, Jack Reacher, a franchise icon, a man who climbed skyscrapers for a living. But he apparently could not, or did not, cross a room to maintain a relationship with his own daughter. The question the world kept asking was, why? And the answer, as uncomfortable as it is, has been visible in plain sight for years. Many have speculated that Tom's high status in the Church of Scientology has led to the estrangement, as the church asks members to cut contact with those who have disconnected. When Katie Holmes left the marriage and left Scientology along with it, she was, in the church's framework, someone who had walked away. In Scientology terminology, a person who leaves or opposes a church can be labeled a suppressive person, an enemy, and members in good standing are expected to disconnect from suppressive persons, including, in some documented cases, their own children. Former Scientology official Mike Rinder explained that the way Katie handled the divorce, causing what he described as a massive public relations disaster for Tom and the church, would have made her likely to have been declared a suppressive person. That would have made Suri, attached to Katie, a potential trouble source. And under church policy, members would be asked to disconnect from both. This is not a fringe theory. Tom Cruise himself, in a 2013 legal deposition, acknowledged that Scientology was a factor in his estrangement from Suri, a father acknowledging in a courtroom, under oath, that religious organization played a role in why he was not seeing his own child. That admission alone should have shaken the world. Instead, it was buried in legal filings and largely forgotten. Meanwhile, Tom's 2 eldest children, Isabella and Connor, whom he adopted during his marriage to Nicole Kidman, are active Scientologists and have been spotted on rare occasions with their father in recent years. The contrast is stark. The children who remain inside the church maintain a relationship with Tom. The child born to a woman who escaped the church did not. Suri grew up in New York with her mother. Katie moved them into a Chelsea penthouse and remained dedicated to providing her daughter with a top-tier upbringing. Suri attended New York's prestigious LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts, the famed alma mater stars like Timothée Chalamet and Nicki Minaj. She developed a love of performance. She sang. She acted. She discovered, on her own terms and under her own name, who she was. Katie Holmes spoke about her daughter carefully but honestly in the years that followed. What has been really important for me with my daughter, because she was so visible at a young age, is I really like to protect her, she told Glamour in 2023. I'm very grateful to be a parent, to be her parent. She's an incredible person. Those words carry enormous weight when you understand what was behind them. This was not the statement of a mother casually complimenting her child. This was the statement of a woman who had spent over a decade sheltering a daughter from a wound the world kept trying to tear open. And through all of it, Suri watched. She saw her father from a distance, the distance of cinema screens and magazine racks. She saw him perform impossible stunts, race motorcycles, hang from planes. Though Tom continued to cover Suri's education costs under the terms of the divorce settlement, he had, according to reports, little to no public contact with her in all the years that followed. Then came 2024, and a statement that needed no press conference, no interview, no tearful television appearance. During a high school production of the jukebox musical Head Over Heels, 18-year-old Suri listed herself in the playbill as Suri Null, dropping her father's surname and adopting her mother's middle name. The world noticed. Then it happened again. At her graduation from LaGuardia High School, the 18-year-old gave her name as Suri Null in the graduation program, and Tom Cruise was not there to see it. The Mission Impossible actor was in London filming the latest installment of his franchise and was later spotted that same weekend at a Taylor Swift concert, shocking fans with his apparent absence from his daughter's milestone day. A source told Page Six that Suri adopted the name to show praise for her mother and to establish her own identity. The insider explained that Holmes' middle name is Noel, and that the name change also came because Suri wants her own identity and hopes to start fresh at college. This was not a tantrum. It was not a public attack. It was something quieter and far more powerful. It was a young woman, on the day the world celebrates the end of childhood, choosing to carry her mother's name forward and leaving her father's behind. Not in anger. In truth, Suri was photographed for the first time after her name change walking through the streets of New York, casual, unhurried, wearing a denim coat draped over her arm, earphones in, looking entirely at ease. This was not a girl in crisis. This was not a girl performing grief for the cameras. This was a person who had made a decision and was living inside it with complete calm. In the fall of 2024, Suri began her studies at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, focusing on performing arts and dance, with aspirations of becoming a designer. Katie Holmes, speaking to Town and Country magazine, said, "I'm proud of my daughter. Of course, I will miss the close proximity, but I'm really proud of her and I'm happy." Now in her sophomore year at Carnegie Mellon, Suri is just a few hours by train from her mother in New York City. She is building a life, a real one that belongs entirely to her. And what about Tom Cruise, the man at the center of all the silence? Reports from early 2026 suggest that Cruz, after reflecting on his private life following a personal split, has been considering making an attempt to reconnect with Suri. A source close to the actor said, "Tom is at a point where finding some sense of peace has become more important than his ego. He has been taking stock of his life and the connections he lost along the way, and the absence that troubles him most is his relationship with Suri." The same insider added, "Tom's estrangement from Suri weighs on him constantly. Outwardly, he puts on a positive front, but in private, the distance from his daughter is always there. He has no interest in revisiting old conflicts or rewriting history. He simply wants the opportunity to hear her out and understand the person she has become. Whether that attempt ever comes, and whether Suri would want it to, remains unknown. She has made no public statement about her father. She has given no interviews about the estrangement. Her only statement has been the name on a graduation program, and the life she is quietly, powerfully building. The truth Suri told the world was not a secret. It was not a bombshell. It was something everyone had known for years, but hadn't been willing to say plainly, that a child was left behind, that a system of belief was placed above a daughter, that a father chose something else, whatever that something else was, over the simple act of showing up. She didn't shout it. She didn't cry it. She signed it, in a name, Suri Null, 2 words that honor the woman who stayed, and quietly retire the name of the one who didn't. And in doing so, she gave the world not a scandal, but something rarer and far more lasting. She gave it clarity. The girl has spoken, not in headlines, in choices. And those choices say everything. If this story moved you, share your thought in the comments, and subscribe for more untold stories told honestly.